Today we are going to be adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So it's just the same as adding and subtracting regular fractions with unlike denominators. But when you have a mixed number, you also have a whole number that you've got to include. So if it's adding, you'll be adding those whole numbers. If you're subtracting those whole numbers. So same rules apply, same steps. Step 1, if the denominators are unlike, we need to find the LCM of each denominator. So we practice that 4-square method. You can still use that method. I have it listed a little differently just so I can get it all on one page so that we can practice. But all you're going to do is find that LCM of your denominators. So my denominators are 4 and 5. So I would list out my multiples of both until I have a common multiple. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 5, 10, 15, 20. My LCM is 20, which means that is the number I will use as my least common denominator. So I'm going to move that over to, this is like box 3 if I was doing 4-square method. So in box 3 is where I rewrite my fractions. So looking at my steps, it says, step 2, convert the fractions to equivalent fractions with like denominators. So the number I'm using as my like denominator is what? 20. So I'm rewriting both of my original fractions with 20. So now I'm asking myself, what did I do to get from 4 to 20? What do I multiply by? 5. So do the same thing to the top. 1 times 5 is 5. For the bottom number, I did 5 times 4 to get 20. So 4 times 4 is 16. Now I am adding. Okay, so I've rewritten my equation. I'm going to add up my whole numbers first. So I have 8 plus 2, which is 10. Then I'm going to add my numerators. Sorry, hang on a second. Hang on. This is 5/20. Remember my original fraction was 8 1/4. So 8 1/4, 1/4 was 5/20. So I'm just rewriting that. And then 2 16/20. Okay, these are my new mixed numbers once I have a common denominator. So my whole number equals 10. And then I'm focusing on just my numerators, 5 plus 16, which is 21. Does the denominator change? No. So my answer is 10 and 21/20. However, okay, so my denominators are staying the same, but I'm stuck with the predicament because yes, I have a mixed number, but the fraction piece of my mixed number is what? It's improper. It's improper. So I'm going to have to do an extra step. So I need to convert that to a mixed number. So I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to be breaking down 21/20. If I pull out a whole, what does that look like?
20.
It looks like 20/20 if I pull out a whole. But I have 1/20 left over, right? I'm showing you how it breaks apart. I'm breaking apart this section here. I'm just showing you so you understand the math behind it. You do not have to do this every time, okay? I am pulling out 20/20, which is equal to a whole, like you told me. That's one whole, right? The 10 that I already had as my whole number will have to be added to that one whole that I pulled out of my improper fraction. So 10 plus 1 is 11. And then what was I left with? 1/20. So my final answer is just 11 and 1/20. Now, listen, hold on. Listen. Remember, this decomposing part here, you do not have to do this every time. If you know that 21/20 is 1 and 1/20, all you got to know is that you have to add that one whole to the 10 already, right? Then you just put your leftover fraction piece with it. Okay, for subtracting, it's the same steps, but instead of adding your whole numbers together, you subtract your whole numbers and subtract your numerators, okay? All right, you have a practice page to do today.